Ladies and gentlemen, I have an absolutely shocking story to share with you. When I saw this was absolutely insane. This former CIA officer was interviewed extensively for 2 hours on the Sean Ryan show 2 weeks ago and called it to the T, to the exactness, exactly what was going to happen today. She said what they've been doing, what they've been training. She said there's over 1,000 Al-Qaeda fighters in the US training or have trained already for the next Homeland attack. And again, it gave me chills how accurately this former CIA officer called exactly what was going to happen today. This is urgent, everyone. This would probably be my most important video I do this year. You need to be aware of what is happening and what is going to happen. This is literally a life or death situation. I do not want to make these videos. It'll be much easier for me just to make finance videos talking about the stock market. My last video where I did about the cyber attack explosion out front of Trump Tower's office instantly got demonetized and is now being shadow banned in the YouTube algorithm, being heavily suppressed. I'm risking my channel. I'm risking everything to bring you this information because YouTube, the government does not want you to know this. This is not me exaggerating, everyone. I have the details here to prove to you. And this former CIA officer predicted exactly what was going to happen today. And it's about to get much, much worse. They know they're running out of time. They know they need to do these attacks before a lot of them get found out, before a lot of them get deported. With the Middle East conflict escalating and the US getting more and more involved in Syria, in Lebanon, getting closer and closer to a direct conflict with Iran. This has never been more serious, okay? We can't just put our heads in the sand and ignore it because your family could be affected. So you need to be informed right now. So everyone, without further ado, let's get into this article and let's listen to the interview. Again, it gave me chills how accurately she predicted exactly what was going to happen. So look at this. Former CIA officer warns 1,000 Al-Qaeda fighters in the US for next Homeland attack. And we all know what happened. If you've been, living underneath a rock for the last 24 hours, there was the attack in New Orleans, and now there was an attack in Las Vegas. And who knows, it's not at the end of the new year. We could still have more attacks happen. But we'll get into that footage in a moment of her predicting it to the T. But let's just go over this article. So in recent discussion on the Sean Ryan show, which again is this, go ahead and watch this 2 weeks ago. Okay, I'll go ahead and move myself here so you can see it. 2 weeks ago, she predicted, is the Pentagon ignoring the most dangerous threat of all? And look, a lot of people commenting 2 weeks ago, this should be #1 on trending. Everyone in America needs to hear this. Imagine if they did hear this. Rogan needs to have her on. I'd rather hear Sean interview her, but more people need to be introduced. And look at this, someone commented 11 hours ago because now a lot of people are coming back to this interview and says, literally watched this morning and walked into the living room afterwards and seen the news in New Orleans. Another person commented, this is such a prophetic interview. Sadly, please invite her for a follow-up interview following the tragedy in New Orleans and now in Las Vegas. So again, absolutely insane. So the interview offers significant insights into what may be unfolding as Al-Qaeda sleeper cells could be activating in the wake of the New Orleans terrorist attack and a possible vehicle-borne improvised explosion device, that's VBIED, in the rear of a rented Tesla Cybertruck that exploded outside Trump hotels in Las Vegas just hours later. And again, they were rented from the same company. So let's get into this interview where also Sean Ryan, if you don't know, he's a former Navy SEAL as well. He's very respected. He doesn't just post, fake news. He back checks everything they say. And we know this is not fake news. She predicted this exactly. So let's go ahead and bring this up here. I'll move myself. I'll move this so you guys can see.
I just want to clarify. You are 100% certain that there are 1,000 plus Al-Qaeda trained fighters within the United States borders?
Well, Al-Qaeda says they trained and deployed 1,000 for this attack. First off, I think there's more than 1,000.
Again, for this attack, She called it exactly.
Al-Qaeda members in the United States. But for the Homeland attack, that number is based on what Al-Qaeda is saying, so they could exaggerate it. However, they did have about 1,400 in the Hamas attack, so the number is not off from what they did in the first round of attacks.
How old is this information?
I mean, it's ongoing. So the training's already done, right? So all the training info is now old because they...
So again, the training's already done. I should probably go ahead and turn this down here. It must be too loud for you guys. She said the training's already done. It's already undergoing. And again, she called it to the exactness. It did exactly happen. So let's scroll down. He tweeted here again. Let's go to his tweet. So CIA, I'll go ahead and adjust this so you guys can see. CIA targeted. We have not had a man walk up to a building in America. Well, I can't say that word here on YouTube. Sarah Adams outlines the enemy's plan for 2025 Homeland attack. And again, I can't play this video because this will be heavily suppressed in the algorithm, but she details exactly what they're going to do, how they're training them to do these attacks where they're not coming here to fight, running away. They're going to fight to the death. Let's go ahead and read this. The terrorist attack on Bourbon Street, along with the postponement of the Sugar Bowl at Caesars Superdome in New Orleans, suggests that something larger is unfolding. There's far too much of this happening when an attack on our homeland emanating from Afghanistan occurs. The resulting moral injury will be catastrophic. Those who serve deserve far better than this, she wrote hours before the attack on Tuesday night. That's exactly right. She predicted this. Meanwhile, General Mike Flynn, who served as National Security Advisor in the Trump administration, wrote, again, it is not what you call it in the end that matters. What matters is there was intelligence prior in some agency or department, and it wasn't acted upon. That's right. They have blood on their hands. Why are they doing this? Do they want chaos to happen? A failure of decision makers was not a failure of intelligence. Prevention is what we should shoot for, and that is what's hard for intelligent doers. That's the hard work of what intelligence does. If you don't follow it and hunt down every lead, then you end up in a reactive situation after the fact. This tragically is where we are for what should have been a very joyous occasion. That's exactly right. So he tweeted, I don't call it the T attack. This is what it is. That's right. We need to call it for what it is. It's an act of terror. And I'll play some of this clip here of where she predicts in detail what's going to happen.
We have not had a man walk up to a building with a suicide vest on the United States. Americans don't understand this. Al-Qaeda knows this, right?
I'll go ahead and turn it down here. It's very loud.
Right. So this is new and innovative, especially now. You don't have to walk upside of the building. You can walk in the building because of the advancement of the vest. The other thing is, in the United States, we haven't had Fideian attackers. So the concept is the terrorist fights to the death. So he's not exactly a suicide bomber, but he will fight till either all...
This is exactly what the truck driver did. He got out, ran over a bunch of people, then got out and started shooting police until their death.
All of us are dead, or all of his people are dead. We think it's going to be a swarming attack, right? Multiple different attacks at one time across multiple cities.
Called it exactly. She said a swarm attack. There'll be multiple attacks across multiple cities.
I think there will be suicide bombers just because some of the attackers went through suicide bomber training and they have these vests. And then we think there's these Fideian attackers who will carry on until they're killed.
You just rephrase that. So these guys are trained and they are going to fight until they're killed.
Yes, and that matters, right? So I was watching this video and it was a suicide bombing in Kabul years ago. The bomber blew up and then everyone starts moving in. The first responders move in, right? And then another guy walks in and blows up. We know this is a tactic. But if Americans don't understand this as a tactic and don't understand these attackers are going to fight to the death, think about that. Battle's going on. The attacker surrenders. He might have the suicide vest.
And we all know if he surrenders, the police can't do anything. They have their protocols they have to follow.
You know, we let our guard down. That man came to die, right? He's going to fight till he dies or you die. So we can't let our guards down, and they know our weakness. So we have to be very careful that we don't have more people die in these second and third order effects of not knowing their intent.
So that's right. They'll bring everyone in and then they'll detonate. It's absolutely insane. So according to a federal source close to the counterterrorism community, some of the latest intelligence briefings have indicated that pre-trained Al-Qaeda terrorists have entered the US through the Biden-Harris administration open southern border. So that's exactly right, everyone. That's why I've been calling on they need to close the border. They need to secure the border, because now Americans are dead because they did not do it. Because they want to be woke, because they don't want to be seen as racist, because they think they just go to the extreme. Yes, we should allow people to migrate to the US, but they go from either letting anyone migrate, even if they're terrorists, even if they're criminals, otherwise you're a racist. So they just went all the way to the left, to the extreme, and now we're all about to pay the consequences for this. So the Biden-Harris administration's disastrous exit from Afghanistan gave rise to Al-Qaeda's global jihad. And one wonders if these alleged terrorist cells operating within the US would soon be active had Kamala Harris won the presidential election. Well, I think it's too late. It doesn't matter who's in charge. They're getting activated now. So could the Bourbon Street massacre be Al-Qaeda's opening act of coordinated attack on Homeland described by Sarah, or are the public preemptive warnings and attempts to fearmonger more aggressive domestic surveillance and ensure funding is maintained under Doge? Well, I think either way, it is very, very bad and very, very alarming, everyone. So you need to be hyper vigilant. I don't want to be going to any big, huge events until things calm down. Again, there is 1,000 Al-Qaeda fighters in the US. They've let this happen. They're not looking after you. They're not protecting you. They tell you you shouldn't be able to protect yourself. And this is the consequence we're all paying. So we need to hold our leaders accountable and tell them we need to secure the border at whatever cost. So what do you guys think about this? I thought this was very prophetic and amazing how accurately she called it. Let me know down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the next video.